Hi, this is Patty Jackson. On this edition of Patty TV, we've got the pot stirrer. That's what I like to call her, from Basketball Wives. Royce Reed is joining us. She's an author. Did you know that? The College Girl series. We're going to get into this book. It's a pleasure to meet you. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
Professional dancer. We know her from Basketball Wives, and now an author. It's really interesting. I was reading the byline of why you did this book, and you said the stories that haven't been told. Tell us why you did this.
Basically, when I went off to school, I wasn't really adequately prepared. I was very sheltered as a child, wasn't allowed to date, wasn't allowed to really hang out with, my friends. I was always in practice or something. So when I went off to school, it was like just thrown at me. And everything was sugar-coated, but I went through a whole lot. I went through a lot of drama, I went through a lot of tears, and I also had my fun too, but I think it's something that a lot of young ladies especially need to read, because college isn't all about, just going to class and getting your education. You also need to learn about this is the first time that you're out on your own in most cases, and that you can't be so naive, and you can't be so gullible and trust everybody.
Now, you said this is going to be a series, so we're going to see a continuation of this book.
Yes.
Was it fun doing?
It was fun, and it was also a purge. One of the girls in the book is me, and writing certain, aspects of the book, it was hard, but it was also a purge, because there's certain things that I never really, was able to talk about or wanted to talk about. So when I was able to write it, it was like, you know what, a lot of young ladies probably went through this and thought that they were alone, but I want them to know that they weren't.
Royce is joining us from Basketball Wives. No one's throwing water in your face, and no one is slapping you in the face. This is the pot stirrer on this show. I mean, you keep it going, but you're a very strong advocate, because you're kind of like looked upon. Oh, you're just a dancer, but you play an integral part, and you have a very strong personality.
Yes, I try. And the thing is, with the whole dancer situation, I'm happy that my role on the show isn't my ex. Okay. And even though, I can't, talk about our situation, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because my role is a job. I actually held a job with the NBA for 2 different teams for 3 years. So when people talk about the relevance or whatever, I think I hold a lot more relevance, to being on the show, because I'm not an ex. I am that, but that's not my, that's not my point to being on the show.
I like how they show your family. Your family is very supportive of you.
Yes.
Your dad, and giving you advice. I like that aspect.
Yes.
Because I know in the quest for ratings, there was the slapping incident with Tammy, the incident coming up, Eric throws water in, his ex-wife's face. Do you think it's done for ratings? Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just getting to be too much. It's getting to be more violent.
Right. That's a hard question to answer, because I'm one that always says that, I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover, but I did fight on national TV, which I'm not proud of. But it's sad when you get the most ratings when someone is slapping someone or punching someone in the face, versus you seeing someone really, showing their career side.
Yeah.
I think that ratings can do just as well, if they're showing a different aspect, especially when it's, African-American women, and you're portraying the just violence and arguing and the glitz and the glamour, all the material things, rather than showcasing our actual careers. So
it just makes you wonder, will it continue for the next season? Shawnee O'Neal, producer of the show, recently said in an interview she was ashamed, of what's going on. And you wonder, you're going along with it. I mean, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but it just made me say, okay, you're the producer, the ratings are there. Yeah. Will it escalate?
I don't know. They're always saying, good job, ladies. And I'm like, good job? You're saying good job to a fight. Like, are you condoning that? Or you're saying, oh, bring it back more, next season? And how are we going to top season 3? And I'm like, top season 3 how? And when it comes to Shawnee, it's like, to a certain extent, I feel like sometimes she throws a rock, hides her hand, because she'll do an interview for CNN and saying that, she feels Basketball Wives is uplifting and inspiring. But then when she gets a backlash from it, she takes it back and she's like, oh, no, I don't condone it and I am ashamed. And I'm like, which one is it? Don't sit here and say like, oh, yeah, you're so for it. But then once you start getting some backlash, it's like, no, I'm absolutely against it. So
there will be a season 4. But Royce is proving there's so much more to her than what you see on Basketball Wives. And the College Girl series is just part of it. You're going to see a series of these books. It's good to see it. Can't wait to start opening up and seeing chapters. But you're right. Young girls need to see that college life is much more than we expect. Royce Reed, Basketball Wives.
Thank you.